Carlos and Ryan, and we know that you're dying to hear what we have to say today. I say we hear what we have to say today. It's the blank. Fill it in. Fill it in. Fill it in. Yeah.
Recording in progress. Carlos. Man, you look really great in this light.
Truckers unite! Young world. I am Carlos.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the blank. Carlos and Ryan. Another week. Cheers here.
Cheers. Smooth.
Yeah, that's smooth right there. Yeah. Woo. All right. Another week.
Another week.
Another
Carlos.
episode. You know what? People were telling me that it might happen. And I'm gonna say I'm not sick of seeing your face yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's great.
Oh, amazing. I think after fucking the amount of years that we've been
I'm on medication though, so
me too.
yeah, oh Jesus. But yeah, we're here, man. We made it for how many? What is it? 38
I
today?
think we're on our 38th episode.
Jesus Christ.
And we can correct that, so please don't.
Yeah, don't quote us.
Yeah,
don't quote anything that we say in the show. But yeah, we made it, man. We're here for another week. Shit, dude. I don't know. I like fuck. I know that. Yeah, I know that when we started this shit, it was just like, wow, let's just do this for us, for fun, you know. But now look at us go. We're going, and we're gonna get there. That's the whole point. This is we're still in the beginning of this journey. And there might be some tough tides ahead of us, but we'll go on and we'll surf right over them. Sumo, you up your surf boy. Tsunami, you up off your surfboard. Shit. All right, Ryan.
That gets into later in the episode.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll understand it.
You'll understand it a bit. Ryan, go ahead and say hello to the children.
In this case, happy Thursday, everybody. I always have to kind of say that I love Thursdays. So everybody who happens to be listening, whether you're using, through your earbuds, watching us on YouTube, Jesus, that was a large gulp. Okay. Wherever you happen to be listening to us, thank you for joining for another week. Carlos and I are back for another week, and I think that this episode is going to be really relevant in relation to the times that we happen to be living in.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'm sure that Carlos, you're going to hear him and myself and I, and him.
And him and I.
And him and I. Definitely tell our experiences with the topic in itself. I think, funny enough, before we even talked about the episode, there's definitely a current event that we're going to talk about in a second. But yet again, just wanted to say thank you for joining for another week. We really do love our listeners, from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah.
It really means a lot. Carlos and I, as you can see, it's definitely fucking bright in here.
Yeah.
We're definitely making changes to our setup in itself. And
yeah.
There's still a lot of mess back here, but we're still working on it. And
baby steps, baby.
Hardware, I've been looking into pretty heavily. So we're hoping to get our quality up, which is great. A lot of big things on the horizon for me and Carlos. I think that this is really just a start. 38 episodes feels like forever, but such a little step at a time.
Yeah.
So we're excited for this journey in itself. We're going to keep going as much as we possibly can, and we're hoping you join it for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's just get right off a topic. We'll talk about them bitch ass I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whoops. The alcohol makes me a bit on it. I'm sorry. We'll talk about the trucking matter, those who are protesting the vaccine mandate, the truckers and the supporters of the said truckers. They were in Vaughan today. Where were they at? Where else this week were they at?
I think that they started out in British Columbia, and for those who don't know who we're talking about, it's probably the most relevant or like, you know, in your face news that's going on in Canada as of now. And it's actually provincial or cross provincially relevant because it started out in BC. And now they're making their way all the way to fucking Ontario, and they're in Ontario today.
In our neck of the woods.
In our neck of the woods, out in Vaughan kind of thing. And like Carl said, it's you know, due to the vaccine mandate that the federal government happened to implement as of recent. Just ensuring that all of the truckers that are coming back and forth through the United States border to Canada and vice versa need to be vaccinated in a certain time. So right now they're going through a huge rally. There's fucking shit ton of people supporting it. There's a whole GoFundMe thing that we're going to talk about in a bit. A whole bunch of shit's going on with this one specifically. It almost feels like the White House incident.
I wouldn't compare it to that, only because I feel it's more laid back with this one. They're showing support, whereas no one is being
Sorry.
Is people watching?
No, I just had to make sure that's
all right.
closed.
I don't want people watching. We're you know, we're being very truthful right now. I feel like I wouldn't say it's in comparison to the White House thing, only because this is more so showing the government that, you know, their solidarity besides violence and you know, aggression. Like, obviously people are pissed off, at the same time it's a protest to show that, you know, we don't agree with what the president or prime minister, oh my god, the drink is making me feel that.
Come on, Lowe's.
Yeah, my fault. The prime minister's mandates on the vaccines are you know, they feel like it's not okay. So my understanding of it is that whenever the truckers enter the country from where they came from, if they're not vaccinated, they have to quarantine, and that makes them lose money on the trucking.
Yeah.
So that is why they're protesting it. They have supporters who are showing their support by you know, showing signs along the roads, you know, cheering them on as they're driving. I mean, can't you just post an Instagram link or something and just be like, I support? It's fucking cold outside. What are you guys doing all outside? I don't know. That's just me. But here's my take on it. First of all, I just want to say, I hope you all get tear gassed. And no, I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. Yeah, just
throwing bombs, man.
Flash bombs and fucking no. I'm okay. So my understanding is that the plan is that they have 1 million people and 500,000, what was it, trucks? Not that many. I don't know if it's that many, but they're gonna try and have 1 million people go to Ottawa to what's the name of the building? The Parliament Hill. They're gonna protest outside of Parliament Hill to, you know, show solidarity against the vaccine mandate. Jesus Christ. Imagine 1 million people showing up for this fucking vaccine mandate. I believe the protest is either they want changes to the mandate or they want Trudeau to resign. He's not resigning. I'm just gonna like there's not a chance in hell that he's resigning.
You have to drag his ass out before
you know what I mean? You ain't gonna do that shit.
That's not a threat.
Yo,
to the Canadian government, whoever's listening,
if y'all watching, and we pay our taxes.
We're just making jokes.
Yes. But yeah, you know, they're trying to, you know, they're gonna go to Parliament Hill, they're gonna protest, and they're gonna stay at Parliament Hill until a change has been made. Now, I've been asked by my peers for my opinion on the matter. And I'll say this. I don't give a fuck what you oh no, I'm playing. And in all honesty, let me be real here. I don't necessarily agree with everything that they're doing. I don't, you know, there is some parts of this vaccine mandate that I do agree. I think it's kind of ridiculous to ask the truck drivers to do the whole quarantine thing, considering that their job is to travel, to pick up shit, and then travel outside the country to drop it off. There's little there's very little interaction with these truck drivers, so I don't feel that they should be quarantining as hard as these other folks, as the regular citizen. But I will say that I respect the fact that it's they're not going the whole US route by attacking attacking people and showing violence and aggression towards the prime minister. I hope that won't be the case for Saturday. But I will say that I hope you all are safe. I don't agree with everything you're saying, but I respect your decision. And for any of our friends who may be with support of this cause, you're cool. We have a difference of opinion in this matter. I hope you're cool. I hope you're okay. I hope you're safe. But I'll just leave it at that. I need to stop drinking before I do this shit. I was like making all kinds of okay, but no, yeah, that's my take on it.
One of the surprising things that's been going on, I think, with this the whole kind of protests that they happen to be going on is that there's just so many different factors that are coming up to this specific thing. Like one thing I wanted to talk about was just the GoFundMe stuff. I think like talking about the financials, we can get rid of really quickly because it's one of the easy things. Because you have a bunch of what I guess like the news and like regular people are claiming as like anti-vaxxers and stuff like that are part of this whole trucking protest. They don't want to get vaxxed. Now they're pretty much just like marching into Ottawa to cause, some sort of like uproar and stuff like that. They want him to resign. But the amount of money that actually got funded was in the millions.
I believe 5 million.
It wasn't just like 100,000, like you got $1 from every person that's an anti-vax. Even like Chris Guy, I don't know how much he ever like raised.
I don't think he raised that much.
How much he ever raised, like being
anti-vax
or throwing those protests, like going into malls, like the people who support him. There's definitely people out there who support him. But the amount of money that this actually raised is wild. And I think that $5 million isn't only reflected by the unvaccinated. I think there's probably vaccinated people that put money into this cause, and they truly believe in it. They truly believe that yes, it's kind of ridiculous that truck drivers need to get vaccinated or whatever it may be. And that's just the wild part, the amount of money that was actually put into this. And like I was reading today in some news articles that it was a lot of like high up like political people that were donating. It wasn't even just like Joe Schmoes like me and you off the street. It was like
we didn't donate.
I didn't donate. But politicians like MPs, like from the NDP, from like the political, from like liberal government, a whole bunch of different. They found out that like a whole bunch of different people posted. There was posts going around how they were trying to e-transfer the cause as opposed to having to send it to GoFundMe because GoFundMe takes a percentage of the thing. Of the profits, I guess, or like the money raised in itself. So just the amount of like financial uproar that's happening to go on with this fucking protest is absolutely wild. Like $5 million, that's like huge.
Well, to be fair, they actually have to stop the GoFundMe, and they have to refund like 4 million. But they actually did give 1 million of that 5 million to the actual cause.
That's wild, man.
So yeah, man. Ooh, I mean, yeah, dude. What can you say? Well, and you know what? Yeah, and like going back to my earlier point, it's good to see that we can have a difference of opinion, and people don't have to be harmed. People will probably be late to work and shit, which fucking sucks. But I get their frustration because I mean, like this is people's livelihoods that we're talking about, you know what I mean? There's freaking, groceries are being threatened not to come in on time. We're already seeing a price hike in groceries right now. And who knows what else could be affected. Like, dude, there's fucking, our computer chips are not even coming in and shit. The vehicles are being affected. So now, and then on top of that, now groceries and shit, it just like says a lot that, I can understand why people are upset, and I get that. But yeah, just Yeah, it's refreshing to see that, violence is not the answer this time around, which is good to see. So take
The
that, US.
I guess like the one thing, and I don't want to go too deep into it, because then we'll get into like economics and like structure and like what helps an economy and stuff.
And
like
I don't
that.
know any of that shit.
But like when we talk about, and one of our buddies, his name's Daniel. Shout out to Daniel. He brought up a great point today, where people really only care about the cause that happens to be being promoted in the news as of that point in time.
Right.
So now that we have like the trucker industry that is like causing uproar because of this whole new vaccine mandate, we really have to kind of take a step back and look at like why trucking is huge in our industry, and like, goods and services, how it's brought into the country, what we buy from other countries and how it's brought in. All of that kind of like bubble in itself gets affected because of this vaccine mandate. And then it's like, okay, our system doesn't run as well. So our grocery stores suffer. There's not enough, potentially food around. Goods and services that we're used to just buying off the shelf could potentially be, minimized or, harder to find or whatever like that, which causes like people to start fucking going nuts and hoarding shit, which is definitely not the right way to go. But it shows how important trucking is to our society, and how of it like a puzzle piece that it's actually needed to be specifically there. One of the crazy thing is when I bring up Daniel and he brought up the point where people really only care about what's being promoted, is that like, man, our healthcare system has been fucking, supposedly at least, I'm not a nurse, I don't know, but they've been getting killed over the last like thing. And I don't know if they've raised $5 million or if there's been like,
what do you mean by?
Well, they've been getting killed as in like, overworked.
Like recently?
Yeah, like over the past, like even like the last 6 months, like we've been hearing nurses being like, oh, it's still fucking thing. Like we're working 16-hour days.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
COVID.
But but my thing is, it's not as bad as the last time, right? Because I mean, like the days are isolation days are a lot shorter. But they're asking people not to come in if you don't have, or to not get tested if you have no symptoms.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. But I don't remember ever there being a $5 million GoFundMe raised for nurses to be distributed between all the nurses across Canada.
Yeah, no, I don't
like, I could be wrong, and please, if you have anything like,
but even if the money was right, do you really think that the hospital are gonna donate some of that money to the nurses?
No, but that's just a crazy thing. It's just like,
I do not think so.
Man, we have like so many huge issues that were going on, and then now we get like truckers, and then all of Canada comes out, according to these like news articles and like the live streams of like supporters showing their day. Even like supposedly in Vaughan, there was like thousands and thousands of people showing. There was
quite a bit
showing their love, kind of thing. So it's kind of like, man, where was all this shit for the nurses and the healthcare workers instead of just banging pots and pans at 5 o'clock? I don't know if they did that in Vaughan, but I remember walking downtown.
Well, everyone was scared because like, we couldn't leave the house.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, man. Like I guess now it's almost like a mixture that like people are just kind of fucking sick of this government. And just tired of being locked down. So it's absolutely wild. What's going on with this fucking trucker thing, man. Like,
well, people need something to blame when they're not really getting the answers. You know what I mean? I know, and like seriously, like just like whenever there's a press conference, whether it be from Doug Ford or Justin Trudeau, there's always that uncertainty, or that's up in the air, and people are like fed up with it because we've been getting it now for like 2 years now. So it's like, when are we going to go back to normal? And people don't know. And it's a frustrating feeling. And I can get why people are now upset, because, they don't want, they're either, whether it be about their personal life, not having that social circle again, or their kids, not going to school. Because I was talking to my godmother about it, her grandchildren, she was saying how, they're not learning a damn thing when they're at home. Yeah. Because they're the distractions of being in their room, and when they see their system, they're like, I'm just gonna go through it and do it and play my games instead of learning this BS. And then when they actually ended up going back to school, they had to keep the windows open during this cold ass weather because they didn't want the COVID to travel and keep everything in the room. So it's like everything, you know what I mean? There's no certainties. There's no like, what should we do here and there, and when are we gonna get these answers? So people are like pissed off.
Yeah.
And we need, they need answers, and no one's providing them with that. So henceforth protests and truckers. But yeah, just I don't know, to each their own. You know, be safe out there, you truckers, and all you people that are you know, out there protesting them. Y'all be safe as well. Again, you know, there's some things I don't agree with y'all, but I respect y'all decision, and hope y'all safe. And yeah, don't kill each other. But
please don't burn down.
Yeah, don't, you know what I mean?
Like, I hope nobody dies from this protest.
Yeah, no, that'd be awful, because that's a lot of people. Although, I mean, if it's all the anti-vaxxers.
God.
Just saying.
Oh,
just
God.
saying. Eliminate the problem while it lasts. You know, the Royal Rumble's actually this weekend.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So place your bets, people.
WWE.
Yeah, man. 30 people.
I don't even think I can
men's and women's.
I don't think I can even name a wrestler that's today.
That's today?
No, I can't.
That's ridiculous.
So. Like,
you're ridiculous.
Randy Orton?
He is still wrestling.
Okay.
That's one.
I got one.
That's one. Do you know any others?
No.
Let's throw it out there. Just guess. Just guess. Just guess. 5, just 4 more.
No, I
just 4 guesses in general. I will tell you if they're
Booker
right
T.
or wrong. Wrong. No, he is not.
The new version of Mankind.
What the fuck is the new version of Mankind? What does that even mean?
Spider-Man.
What the shit?
That dude that gets on that wire and then comes down from the fucking top rope, man.
You mean Spider-Man?
And then he was also in that show, Crow. And then for those who don't know that show, Crow, rest in peace of the actor. I think he died, actually.
Brandon Lee.
Bruce
Lee's son.
Bruce Lee's son. He actually died from a gunshot.
Yeah.
Which is real fucked up.
Yeah. On set.
Yeah, that's like super fucked up. So
yeah, rest in peace, Brandon. And he just proceeds to laugh. God, don't speak at my funeral. Jesus Christ. Carlos was a nice guy. I'm sorry, y'all played yourself. Y'all played yourself. Jesus Christ. All right. On to recent news. Trucker shit aside.
I didn't even fucking know this, but Canada's playing a huge soccer game today. Hence this. And
they're playing. They already did, or they played, or
they're playing tonight.
What the fuck? Like against who?
The World Cup qualifier.
Oh,
let me look it up. But
you're supposed to know your news before.
I'm sorry.
This guy.
It's the drinks, man.
Jesus Christ. And while we wait for Ryan to look, Royal Rumble is again this weekend on pay-per-view. Check your local listings. 30 men and 30 women will compete in 2 separate Royal Rumbles to determine who will main event WrestleMania. So throw your bets in, folks, and get on it. Did you figure out your answer?
I did. It's Honduras. So
Honduras.
Canada's playing Honduras tonight at 8.
They speak Spanish, don't they?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think they do. Yeah.
I'm sure it's a beautiful country, though. But
still foreigners. I'm playing. Good luck to Honduras, but Canada's gonna whoop that ass. We need that FIFA spot, baby. Let's get it. No disrespect again, but again, go Canada. Is that all the news you got?
I think the one last thing I do want to speak about is our reopening coming up soon.
Oh, of Ontario.
Yeah,
Whoa.
So I think that we touched upon it last week, but we're closer to the date. It is the 27th today, I believe. So only about 4 days away from sort of what opening. They're going to open up indoor gyms, movie theaters, things like that.
Even like work from home is no longer a requirement.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Holy shit. Read that news. So they're saying they don't have to keep logs, so restaurants don't have to ask you to sign and leave phone numbers as of Monday.
What?
But still 50%.
That's huge.
That's quite big.
Huge.
I don't have to do it. I get to stay up from home because that's what's on the contract. I signed it. So that's what's on the contract.
You try to take that away. You just try to take that away from me. You have
Oh,
to come for me.
yeah, man. Just, yeah,
You
man.
have to come for me.
Fuck. You know what I mean? Take my fucking computer. I ain't going back to that office, bitch. But yeah, there it is, folks. That's a big news. So Monday, man. Oh fuck, I can't wait to go to the gym. I need to lose all kinds of weight, gain some muscle, you know. But yeah, what are you excited about?
I'm excited to go back to like restaurants and stuff, man.
Of course,
I feel like
bars.
Yeah, especially bars.
Oh Jesus.
Like Carlos and I, after our podcast, sometimes we just go grab a beer or something like that. And that's one thing I do happen to miss. I know that there's actually going to be a lot of bars that are opening at 12 a.m. that night. The same way that a lot of like when we opened up, there'd be certain bars within Toronto that would open at 12 a.m. So let people in kind of thing. So they party till 2 in the morning, 2:30 or whatever it may be.
Anything to make some dough. I mean,
so hard times. I'm excited for that. So maybe we'll do that hopefully on the Sunday, or I'll try to find myself somewhere to do it on the Sunday. It'd be pretty cool. I think that's the most fun. Especially with the winter blues that we happen to be going through,
sure.
So.
It's been a rough ride this winter, but things are looking up, I guess. Who knows? But yeah, fingers crossed that no rules come in, or at least the rules die down as the months go, because I think the plan is that then February they want to increase, and then by March everything should be. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Everything's coming up. Labor Day and by March, man.
Any other news that you know of?
I think that's it on my end.
Okay, I do have one thing to talk about. It's not really important, but do you know who Peter Dinklage is? You uncultured swine. Peter Dinklage is the actor from Game of Thrones. He is the little person who plays Tyrion Lannister. He was on a podcast where he was pretty pissed off at the fact that Disney is recreating Snow White. Due to the Seven Dwarfs situation.
Wow.
Yeah, so Disney responded saying that, they looked into it. They spoke to the dwarf community to ensure that, nothing is offensive. Here's my situation. Here's my take on it.
Interesting.
They have a Latina female playing Snow White this time around. Her name is Snow White. That's two whites in one name.
White.
Whites, and you get a Latina? Are you fucking kidding me? Inclusiveness. What kind of dumb shit is this? Inclusive, bro. Look here. I know Disney's trying really hard to live with this woke bullshit. Not bullshit, because no, it's bullshit. Listen, if you're gonna get someone to play Snow White, get a white person. Next thing you know, these fucking dwarves are going to be fucking 7 feet tall. Fucking African dudes just like fucking mining.
African dudes
in Sierra Leone. Fucking. Fucking sake, what's going on here? Fucking they're recreating the Little Mermaid and she's black?
What?
Yes.
Oh my God, Disney, man.
Dude, black people don't swim. You expecting me to believe a fucking fish can swim? Jesus Christ, what's going on here? I don't like this. It's annoying.
Disney.
Fucking Disney, get out of here, dude. Honestly, my thing is these movies were fucking offensive as is. Stop recreating them. You made your bed, now live in it. Jesus. And then bro, they recreated Peter Pan, and they had those offensive scenes with the Native Americans. They weren't in the new scenes. Yeah. They weren't in these new Peter Pan movies.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I don't watch too much Disney.
Yeah, I hear you, and I get that. But it's just like, dude, fucking, if Walt Disney was alive today, he'd be rolling over in his grave.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, Walt Disney was extremely racist, and he was an absolute sexist. I'm dead serious. He was an anti-Semite, hated the Jews. I'm not even kidding. And women, he did not allow women to work in his studio.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, he did not like women. He hated women also.
Wow.
Married and had kids too.
Jeez. An anti-Semite.
Anti-Semite. Yeah. an anti-Semite incel. We've been doing it before, it was even a thing.
God, man.
Jesus Christ. And you know what I mean? And if he didn't make Mickey Mouse, he fucking sure as hell would fucking shot up a goddamn place full of Jews and women, man. Oh my God. Overall, though, Disney, y'all made some classics in the past. Lion King is one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, yeah.
But really, this whole woke shit, really, come on. Rethink this. Come on.
There's been a big I don't know. I'm not too much into like the kind of pop culture kind of stuff, but everyone knows I'm a big Reddit fan. There's a lot of like inclusive posts about the latest one that came out. I think it's about like a Mexican family and their house is like haunted or something like that by ghosts.
Yes.
And a lot of people are being like, oh, it's great to see like, Latinas or like the Latin American culture be like, exposed by Disney and stuff like that. And I don't really pay too much attention to those kind of posts, I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that Disney does a wonderful job of being able to kind of expose certain cultures in that light when they happen to like kind of form it. Like I've seen some of the shorts about like their Asian culture and like their like the bow things, like those like short Disney ones and stuff like that. But like I am kind of on the fence with Carlos in this case, in relation to like certain things that are like, I guess, some Disney classics and like trying to recreate them to be able to kind of be more relevant as of today. I don't really know how I feel about that. It's definitely kind of an odd situation in itself. But yet again, I don't really care for Disney in general. So
damn,
I don't know.
They own The Simpsons, dude.
Yeah, but The Simpsons are my Asian yellow brother.
Oh, dear.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, I need to sit you down. But listen, God, even just Disney BS aside, more originality. All right, stop recreating these movies.
They definitely have probably great writers, and you see it like in
for
itself,
sure.
all of the talent and especially all the money in the world to be able to hire the talent that can make
stop
absolute wonderful originals.
You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna what do you need the script for? You don't need script writers.
Like things like Toy Story,
yeah,
like Pixar and stuff like that. Like that was original as hell.
Fuck. And it's one of the most successful movies ever made.
So I'm with you, Carlos, in that one. I think that definitely.
And then watch them recreate Toy Story and fucking a Russian cowboy and
Russian dolls
and a space cadet from Alaska. Oh, to infinity and beyond. Yeah. I think more originality. That's all we ask, please. Like, we're sick and tired of these remakes. I'm not interested in remakes. I want original. That's all for my rant on Disney. You're gonna pour me a drinky drink.
But in this case, I think this is going to be an exciting part of the episode now that we get to talk about our main topic.
Bum 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 bum. I don't remember what it is again. Social anxiety.
I guess the first disclaimer that I want to put out is that Carlos and I are not psychologists.
Right.
We are not therapists.
Yeah.
We are not anybody, and we say this in many of our episodes. Please do not take our advice.
Well, listen to our advice, but don't
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just two people talking.
Right. And we have opinions on it. And for all of those who have social anxiety out there, who really need the help, go seek it. Because if you're listening to this podcast, you're just going to listen to an hour or so of me just calling you a bitch and to fucking man the fuck up and go out and, but whereas if you actually do need the help, please go talk to a professional.
100%.
That is all. That being said, social anxiety, man. Oh, fits in this week because Bell Let's Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Bell Let's Talk.
That just came.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Bell Let's Talk for a bit. Yes, let's talk about Bell Let's Talk. Let's start it off. Bell Let's Talk. Is it horse shit or is it actually beneficial?
I think it's beneficial to a degree. I definitely think that there's the dark sides of Bell as a company in Canada being one of the triopolies that we happen to have in relation to our telecommunications. Shaw, do some shit. Yeah, I love Freedom Mobile, but in this case, I'm just saying that because we happen to have a terrible. We could probably do a whole episode on like internet service and cell phone and how Canadians get screwed on that shit.
Maybe we can do that next week.
But Bell happens to be one of them, and unfortunately, there's a huge dark side to Bell in relation to how much money they make off of like prison calls, the amount of like money that they charge like elderly people for like plans that they don't fucking need, all that kind of crap. How hard it is to fucking just cancel your plan is enough of a dark side of a fucking telecommunications fucking organization in itself. Not a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about Bell. Unfortunately, they happen to be one of those corporate monsters in Canada that provide us a great service, but we just
all
don't
over
like
Canada. Yeah.
But in this case, for those who don't know, and if you don't know, I'm surprised, but Bell actually has a Let's Talk every February campaign every. I don't know how often it is.
It's every year. Every year, February, I think, or January. Rather,
Let's Talk, and I think it's like a whole hashtag with Twitter and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that every 5 cents for every text that happens to go through Bell services, they donate 5 cents towards foundations that help with mental illness, things like that. So I think in that case, in relation to the donation, because donations towards things like that are always helpful, I would say, no matter where it's coming from. Sometimes, I don't know, it's tough, but just getting the exposure of like mental illness, getting help. They got a lot of celebrities who come out and do commercials and stuff like that. It's a huge campaign. It's a huge thing. I'm sure they pump thousands, if not millions of dollars into the well-being of like mental health, exposing it for what it is, telling people to get help, whatever it may be. But Bell in itself is just a fucking corrupt, harsh company. Like every other telecommunication kind of thing out there, which is definitely tough. So I don't know if it's bullshit, man. Like I would like to say that there is some good to it, but I think overall Bell as a company, it just sucks because if not them, then who? Nobody would do it.
Well, I mean, it's not even a matter of doing it. It's just a matter of the fact that Bell, people are saying this is a PR stunt. This is to engage with their customers to ensure that we support this. A few things that, because me and Ryan and a few friends were talking about it on the actual day. It was Tuesday or just yesterday?
It was Tuesday.
Who knows? I forget. The day of, there was a lot of people on Reddit who were going in on Bell claiming that this is all just bullshit to attract people, to show that they support mental health, whereas they fired a shit ton of people just in the past year, people who would benefit with help such as this, and they had a really profitable year, so they didn't even necessarily have to fire all these people. So to be told you're fired, but just simply because of like budget cuts and something, it speaks a lot of volumes of what type of company you are, to really look like a profitable to look like the company for the people versus actually being a company for the people. It says, it speaks volumes. And when people see bullshit, they're gonna call you out on your bullshit. That's plain and simple what this is. I was watching this video. I forget what her name is. She suffers from schizophrenia. She went, she was going off on how she's saying Bell Let's Talk was absolute nonsense. I forget the name of the video, or her rather. You can go check her out. I posted it. What's her name? What is her name? Living Well with Schizophrenia is the name of the channel. She was just talking about how Bell Let's Talk is absolute just it's a horrible company who's only trying to look like that they really do care. And I feel that most of these big wig companies would do such a thing. When the Black Lives Matter thing came on, a lot of these folks are showing Black Lives Matter. We support this movement. Please buy our thing so we can donate money to the cause, and it'll be beneficial. We support the LGBTQ plus community. We support everybody regardless. Please buy our fucking soaps to show that anybody, regardless of your sexual identity or sexual interests, can shower with our soaps. But it's just I wouldn't be surprised if this is a PR move. The big wigs up in the that building up there in the Bell building up there, just laughing straight to the bank. You know what I mean? Yeah. All this is just to impress shareholders, to ensure that they're getting their money back, and to impress customers, to attract their new ones. Once they have their customers, they truly don't care. And if you leave, that's when they are just like, whoa, hang on, whoa. We got good deals for you. Stay. Bell, let's talk, baby. Let's do that. Let's talk. But
I think the last thing I have to say about Bell is, supposedly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but supposedly there was some sort of statistic where because of COVID, they laid off a bunch of people in a certain departments.
Yeah.
But then also took over $100 million bailout during COVID. To keep their operations running or whatever it may be in this
to
case.
Look the part.
But it's like Bell's $1 billion company,
right?
Probably. I don't know exactly what their market share is or whatever it is.
No, they're probably in the billions.
But I would think that they're in the billions. But it's like to even just take 100,000 or $100 million worth of taxpayers' money to keep a business that already has the money sitting in a bank account somewhere, is just really fucked up. And like you said, when they throw out these weird kind of public relations events like Bell Let's Talk, there is some good to it, I truly believe, but I think as an overall sense, it's hard to trust Bell in itself, just because of sketchy ass shit they be doing
and their service.
Yeah, stop charging people $100.
Yeah, you fucking bitch, dumbass motherfuckers. I was reading another fact actually about the Bell. Someone posted it in our group chat. Man, oh man, if you guys were in our group chat, we'd be arrested. Let's see what's going on here. So there was a stat that says Bell charges inmates prison for a 20-minute long distance call. They charge inmates $30 for a 20-minute long distant call, profiting off prisons that hurt the most marginalized. Bell laid off hundreds of workers during the pandemic, despite making billions in profits. And Bell uses mental health as a PR stunt, which I mentioned, while contributing to the very problem this day is supposed to address.
It's tough, man.
It's it's just it's nice to there Alexander Graham Bell one day was just sitting at home, across the window, some fine honey looking at him, trying to say something. He's like, what? And then she's saying something again. He's like, what? And he couldn't hear her, and then couldn't make out what she was saying, and he lost out on a freebie that night. And he's just like, miss me with that. I was trying to get with that honey, you know what I'm saying? So he decides to fucking make a device where he can hear not only that honey from across the street, but that honey, down the side road, or the honey that moved all the way back to Wisconsin, and created the phone. And now it's used by millions of people around the world to connect with people all over the world, even in different galaxies, and to some people.
Yeah, the original idea was to communicate, not to dominate.
Yes.
The country.
Yes.
Being the only option for telecommunications,
right.
I don't know.
It's So my point is this: Alexander Graham Bell probably did not think that he would have to, you know, convey his message of support by creating a thing to show support for those with mental health. Um, I do believe there is a good message behind Bell Let's Talk, because obviously, if you're going through something, talk to a friend, talk to a professional, seek help when you can. It's okay to show that, you know, you're vulnerable and that you're going through some stuff. But it's you know, it's strong. You know, it makes you a strong person to show that you to admit that, you know, you're going through something, and to, you know, to reach out to somebody is always a good thing. But to use that as a tactic to attract customers is a snake move. It's a dick move. I think that you know, I shout out to everybody who lost their jobs during the pandemic. People who really benefit from a day like this. Because I mean, like, I imagine, considering, you know, what's going on with pandemic alone, and then, you know, losing their jobs on top of that would drive anyone insane.
Definitely
would drive people, you know, would cause probably I read a stat today that the Canadians are a lot more depressed now than they were while the pandemic was starting.
Oh yeah,
so
I can imagine that.
And yeah, a lot of and not even Canadians, just people around the world are going through it, because, you know, we can't really talk to people, let alone our family and friends. So it's, I don't know, dude.
I guess that's why, like, a certain episode like this, what we're going to talk about social anxiety, is such an important thing to talk about, because it's really just kind of one piece that happens to kind of flow into the rest of the world. And like a lot of people, even though there's, I don't want to say the word harsher, but there's more like in-depth things that people are kind of going through during the times of like COVID and all of these kinds of things that, you know, people can't deal with. Social anxiety definitely happens to be at least one of those like kind of forefronts, or one of the ones that a lot of people can relate to. And then maybe even more so because of COVID and how it impacts us socially, and, you know, just people kind of being isolated in itself. So that's why Carlos and I definitely thought it was important to kind of do this episode today, to at least talk about it. Even if you haven't even heard of it before, at least, you know, acknowledge it, learn a little bit about it, and then Carlos and I tell our experiences about it and stuff. So
yeah,
give me what you know, what the definition, or what you would define as like social anxiety.
Just when you're around people and they fucking make you feel weird, and you're like, I don't want to be here, I want to go home. Whether it be at school or on the subway, or when you're around people that make you feel uncomfortable, you know what I mean? Especially in a social setting. Just, well, we can't use a word to define the word. That's just stupid. I learned that in fucking, come on! Yeah, just people who either, you know, feel uncomfortable in an environment where they're not really used to, whether it be in school, you know, again, with all these settings. Some people get it worse. Some people might have like panic attacks when they're around these settings. People might faint. Yeah, just that's to me what a social anxiety is. I could be wrong. I don't know this shit. We told you at the fucking beginning that we're not professionals.
So what part of the research that I did happen to do specifically for
you did research?
Of course.
Shit. Was that on the homework? I didn't know. I just related to shit to my life and what I dealt with.
Part of a little bit of the research that I did happen to do was just where this kind of social anxiety kind of comes out from, and like where does it kind of stem from. And there's obviously a bunch of different resources that you can look into, and I'm a big kind of sociology person. I like to learn about it, like to read about it, that kind of stuff. And then a lot of what it bases around is just the concept of rejection. So
I relate to that. Oh yeah, hear me out, dude. Sorry to interrupt. Hear me out. No, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Concept of rejection. So an individual, whether you happen to be, you know, worried about it, you fear like just the feeling of rejection in itself, Rejection is probably one of the main terms in relation to social anxiety.
Yeah.
Whether you're being rejected by a social group, your group of friends,
Yeah.
a new school, whatever it may be, that's kind of like the interesting part of like social anxiety, that you feel like you're going to be rejected from a group, or whatever it may be. So then it turns into something where almost like your self-reflection of like yourself, or what you think of yourself, you don't feel like you're good enough to be able to kind of be accepted by a certain group or whatever certain situation you happen to fall under. And then it causes this sort of like feeling inside where you just don't feel comfortable with kind of being in that situation. And then the more times that you happen to go through it, the more and more social anxiety happen to be worse for you, or like those certain social situations happen to be worse on you. And some people never get out of it. So, social anxiety in itself really, really stems from the concept of just being rejected, and then the want to be accepted as like social human beings. Such as myself and Carlos, I would consider us pretty social, whatever, but erase that. But in this case, it's really a scary thing in itself. And I think that even though talking about it is super important, I think that just telling our experiences about social anxiety, also hearing your experiences, please hit us up. We do have those socials where you can hit us up. I would love to read your stories. We can definitely talk about it as we go, but definitely just the rejection and then wanting to be accepted. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the big thing about social anxiety, I would say.
I know you're serious, but these are the faces I make while I wear a mask, and I'm not used to that yet. So, but I mean, yeah, fear of rejection. When you said that, I'm just like, oh, that shit triggered. But I know for me, when I talk to women, that is a huge thing that comes to my mind, even to this day. Well, not as much today, but back when like high school, yeah, that was like a huge thing. Like I don't even think I even asked the woman out in high school. Like it was like really bad. It was like to the point of like, when I were to talk to a woman, we would be friendly and shit. Like, I don't mind being friendly with anybody. I can talk to anybody and be friendly with them and shit. But like when I start developing feelings for this person, I'll just like start overthinking, just like, fuck, what if this person doesn't think I'm good enough? What if this person thinks I'm fucking ugly and shit? What if this person thinks I'm overweight? Yada, yada, yada. It's just a lot of like, oh God. And then all these things going through your mind, and the overthinking is what is obviously led to my downfall, with nothing ever happening with this person. So it's that fear of rejection, it's that's a shitty feeling. Obviously, like now I know that like even if you get rejected, that's okay. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to put all your eggs in that one basket. The basket referring to a female. Yeah, I compared you to an object. Deal with it. You want to complain? Fucking write a, shit. You know where the button is, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Shout out to Carlos to say, Suwu to the death of me, niggas. Woo woo! Wow, that went to a dark place.
I definitely do not condone anything that just
Jesus. Man, that is wow. I don't know what's in this drink, sir, but got me going. But yeah, what was I gonna say? That fear of rejection, man. It just that's a poison. And fellas, even ladies, or whatever gender you identify as, because now apparently that's a thing. Still getting used to that. So baby steps. Whatever, whatever that fear you have when you're talking to someone that you're interested in, don't overthink it. And if that rejection does come, it's okay. Move on, because I know that when I normally when I talked to a girl way back when, that thought would come into my mind, like, fuck, remember when I asked that girl and nothing happened? What the fuck, man? Oh, that was horrible. That was a horrible, humiliating experience. But that's such a thing. It was just an experience. It happened that one time. She's not going to remember. The friends are not going to remember. Only you. You are your own worst enemy. Remember this. I know.
Ugh. You okay?
I wasn't crying or anything. I just burped. But yeah, dude, it's just yeah, that's the only thing about that's probably like the only thing about me that's like I dislike is that fear of rejection that comes about myself. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most common, kind of aspects of social anxiety in itself that, when individuals, you happen to be talking to girls, whether you're trying to make new friends, whether
Yeah.
you're trying to be accepted in maybe a new work environment, any sort of situation that you may not be used to being put into, there is going to be some sort of nervousness about the
Oh,
situation
sure.
or some overthinking, like you said, which is a great point because I think that that's one of those common aspects that anybody that has been in somewhat of a social situation that they did not feel 100% comfortable in that specific situation. Yet again, one things I did want to kind of point out is that it is common. I was reading the study the other day where they said that out of America, there's at least, I think it was like 13 million people experience social anxiety, or at least came out and was truthfully said that they experienced social anxiety on a day-to-day basis. So again, everyday basis, and that's just America in itself. So then if you expand it on a global scale, it also ends up being like, I think it was like 4 to 8% of people, which doesn't seem like a lot in a percentage wise, but that is a shit ton of fucking people that happen to kind of have to deal with this like every single day of their lives, which is super fucking unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because no one should have to feel kind of uncomfortable in their own skin, and especially in relation to social situations like this. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, Carlos, is that sorry, but what is the actual feeling? Like, do you remember feeling something like?
No, it wasn't like in my body or anything. Like
In my body.
In my body. Touch my body. I don't even remember the words. No, it wasn't like well, I'm lying. No, it's like I guess in my chest. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, listen, this R&B shit's not gonna fly right now. You understand?
I'm just trying to spit some R&B shit.
Jesus
It relates
Christ.
back to this one song.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, in my chest, I had this feeling. It was a heart murmur, but the doctor checked it out. But it's all good. But no, like if like this sinking feeling, I'm like, and also considering that I was pretty self-conscious, just being like the only like one of a few black dudes that go to that school, and everyone else being non-black, but thinking they are and having the heart to, being the problem, take it easy. Being the person to tell them that they are not black was really and that was a very awkward conversation me and Ryan had way back then. Please pull up your pants, Ryan. You are not, for the last time, you are not. Jesus Christ, Ryan, that is not how the Crips wear their jeans. Pull up your pants. But yeah, no, like all jokes aside, it's a feeling in my my chest is just like this sinking feeling. And like the feeling you get when you're riding down when you're going on a roller coaster or like drop zone, that feeling of like that's somewhat of a feeling I get. And then like in my head, I'm just like, oh shit, this chick thinks I'm so ugly. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm fucking shit. What's going on? Because it all relates to like the rejections that actually happened. Like I remember one time in high school, it was during that much music video dance, and I asked a girl, what song came on? Hero by Enrique Iglesias came on.
Shit.
Everyone's slow dancing and shit. I'm fuck. And there was no drinking at this time. I was completely sober, and I asked the girl to dance, and she laughed.
Ooh.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Worst case scenario, and it literally happened.
We're not going to call this girl out on this podcast, are we?
Why? No, I don't want to embarrass her. But yeah, no, it's that was a shitty feeling. I'm like, fuck. And it was shit like that really added to my self-consciousness. It really it made it really tough. And I don't want to blame her. Like, it's not her fault. But no, she was actually really cool about it, to be perfect. I was like, all jokes aside, like, yeah, she's not really comfortable with dancing anyway. So, like, I don't blame her. But at the same time, it was just like, fuck, man. Oh, why did I do that? That was so ridiculous. But no, as I think about it, but now it's just like, you know what? I took that chance, and it was embarrassing at the time, but like, no, I think it definitely helped with how I am today. Although I am single today, it is tough to. No, don't do that. It's tough to find a girl in this whole pandemic era, because even like I think until very recently, it was still hard for me to ask women out because of me just thinking about the self-consciousness. Like, I'll be friendly with anybody and everybody. Like, if you want to be friends, let's do that. That's cool. That happens. I'm a pretty friendly person, I'd say. But it's just like overthinking the whole self-consciousness, and really thinking bad about yourself at the time when you're speaking to women is just it's a horrible feeling.
It is.
It's a feeling I don't really have. Don't like not have. I do have it. It's just I'd rather not have. Have you ever had like a social awkward?
I think I'll share my experience, and I'll kind of talk about what kind of point I wanted to get into, because it still talks about kind of the science of it in itself. So the one last time that I really remember feeling some sort of like an anxiety, being in some sort of a social aspect, and Carlos, I don't know if he would consider me a social person, but I think I'm a pretty sociable person in general. I don't really I feel like I don't have too many issues in relation to getting along with people, stuff like that, approaching people, whatever it may be.
In this too case, much. There are times when I'm like, stop
Yo, Ryan, leave that person alone, man.
Let's go the fuck home, man. I'm tired. Let's go home.
All right, what's your name, bro?
Jesus.
But I love social aspects. I love being in public. I love meeting new people. I love learning. I love just kind of being out there. I love listening to people, no matter who you are. You could be a total stranger, whatever it may be. I just feel like I'm that kind of person. But in this case, the very last time that I really felt like awkward in a situation where I was in, for those who don't know, I work in the industry of corporate law. And I was in this huge boardroom meeting with a bunch of like way older millionaire dudes that own this company, and they're on the board of directors of this huge real estate company in Toronto. I'm not going to name their company in itself because I don't want to call them out. But we were
sued
doing a huge partnership with them. And we actually got to go to their office and meet all the board of directors, and we're talking about the partnership and stuff like that. And they brought me along for some fucking reason. I think I was like 22 or 23 at the time. Brand new into the field. Don't know what I was doing there. I had to wear a suit and a tie. First time ever being in a situation that I didn't feel like I belonged into. And I think that was the crazy part of the anxiety that happened to come with it. So I happened to be in a certain situation where I'm probably the youngest guy in the room. I might not even be dressed well in comparison to some of the other guys that are maybe wearing like $1,000 suits and stuff like that. And I felt like I was just out of my league, or like not in my kind of comfort zone. I'm not used to this kind of situation. I'm meeting people that, even though it doesn't really matter now, but make probably 10 times or not, if not 100 times more money than I do. And I think that's where the anxiety started to come in. So like what I like to do personally is I like to feel exactly what I'm feeling at that point in time. So like, I don't know if anyone else can share with me, and if you have, then please let me know your experiences. But the amount of sweat that I had coming from my dress shirt, and I was wearing like this light blue dress shirt at the time. You could see like the sweat coming in under my arms. It's like super air conditioned of a fucking room, but I'm sitting there sweating, like wiping my sweat off my forehead. And just like this hot feeling inside. And the thing about it is I never feel that. I don't ever feel that on a regular day basis. I call strangers all the time, whatever it may be. And in this case, that was the one time I remember probably in the last about 5 or 6 years where I actually got bad, where I was like, wow, this is actually scary. And it's a situation that can draw you away from having to kind of be in that situation ever again. But depending on how you kind of take social anxiety, I'm one of the lucky ones where I can now go into a boardroom and just
What up,
Hey,
bitches?
yeah, and it'd be
Rise in the
perfectly fine,
hood.
and I talk about exactly what I'm talking about because I am experiencing it. I've learned from the situation itself, but I'm fortunate to be able to kind of be in that situation where I don't feel that anxiety over and over again when I happen to meet somebody new or talk to somebody new or whatever it may be. In that case, just the feeling in itself of your body getting fucking hot and sweaty and uncomfortable. That's how I can only picture exactly what somebody goes through every single fucking day, which is a super sad part. But to get into some of the points that I kind of wanted to talk about is that your body does feel things. And that's why I asked you that originally, is that just to even talk about your brain, I did a little bit of like video watching and like reading on the brain and how social anxiety kind of affects that in itself. But there's certain parts of your brain that start fucking going ham, releasing certain fluids and like being certain active.
Are they crumping?
Well, like
is there?
I guess you can consider synapses like touching each other and all that kind of shit, like crumping. But there's a lot of activity. Tons and tons of brain activity that happens to happen when you're going through social anxiety, and they have sort of recognized it with those CAT scan machine things that people go under. Are they called CAT scans? CAT scans. That your brain starts to fucking maneuver a whole bunch, and like your body starts to get hot. There's even like studies and like things done where they take like UV rays and they picture you while you're like angry or while you're scared and while you're feared, and then there's certain parts of your body that heat up in comparison to everywhere else. So a super cool thing. So it's just like everyone goes through it, and your body really does react to these certain situations, and that's what makes it fucking scary, man. Like I can only imagine somebody that goes through that every day.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, for sure. Like I don't know, like I know in the workplace, I too have also had a bit of the social anxiety. Like not in the case of sweating and feeling hot and shit. I ain't no bitch. No, I'm teasing. But there was a point where I worked with a boss for like 2 years, and I did not talk to him whatsoever. The only time I talked to this dude was like the last few months he was leaving. So I would say it was not even talking. It was like, hi, how are you? Good. And that's it. And it was his very last day. And I was working with a friend of mine at the place called KB. His name is KB. And I was telling him that it's homeboy's last day. And he's like, oh, okay. Oh, and he was telling me it was homeboy's last day. I'm like, oh, is it? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'll just go say bye. And as I'm going into the office, I'm walking in there, I said, hey. And he's like, oh, hi, KB. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking I'm not KB. And I just rolled with it. I let him call me KB. I did not have the heart to tell him that I wasn't KB.
So what if he was like, what does KB stand for, by the way? I never got that. Quabina. Oh, yeah, okay, dope. No, it's mean like, but like, would you play it as in like, what if the person that said that to you went up to KB actually and was like,
hey, Carlos?
Yeah.
KB would have said, oh no, I'm KB, because that's how KB is a confident mofo, bro. KB got girls like crazy. You have no idea. He's a married man now, but way back in the day, holy shit, he got women.
Shout out to KB.
Dude, like he was like the most popular dude in that office for sure. I'm like, holy shit, how's he doing it? But yeah, no, like, dude, bosses loved him. They were feeling him and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how's he doing that shit? But no, like me, no, my confidence was like, I did not want to, like, I didn't even talk back when I'm being screamed at and shit, because like I didn't want to start no trouble and shit. I don't want to be that guy. Like, these dudes are like screaming at me. Like, it's quite clear. Like, I'd fuck them up. There's no like question. But I'm not going to be the guy that loses my job because of like some dumbass that can't take criticism and whatnot. But yeah, dude, like, oh my god, like even in like the littlest things. I even remember another job, or there was not even job, like instances where like I would talk to somebody, like it has nothing to do with feelings or like anything. It's just a person I've never met before, and like at one point of my sentence, my words were slur. I'm like, and in my head, I'm just like, why the fuck did I just say that? What does that even mean? And then and I've gotten to the point where I call out my accident, where I'm just like, why did I say that? That makes no sense. And they laugh out loud. And then, because it makes it relate, when you do shit that's funny, you want to make relatable. You want to make yourself more vulnerable. You want to make yourself look human, because people make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you just call it out. It makes it funny. So that's how I learned to cope with some of my anxiety. And humor, rather.
So one of the things that I did want to kind of get into, and I think that this is going to be helpful for anybody that happens to be listening, or anybody that happens to go through any sort of degree of what can be considered social anxiety. I'm sure that some people happen to go through extremes of it, because I'm sure that there's somewhat of a spectrum in relation to, like I feel it a little bit, or I feel it on a scale from like 1 to 10.
Yeah,
it's more of a 1 in comparison to a 10 situation. So in this case, for the ones that really feel like they are going through at a certain time, how do you cope with it? How do you react to it? What are the best ways to kind of go about it? If you are still feeling it after, being an adult and going through life experience, being in social situations, how do you cope with it? Carlos just recently mentioned that humor is a huge thing. Being able to kind of make the other person laugh eases that, I guess, stress, or the nervousness of the actual situation in itself. One of the things that I was really reading about was early detection. One of the things that now that they've kind of really researched about social anxiety and how it comes up for individuals, early detection is huge. If you can sort of self-recognize exactly that you're going through it, and you can feel it yourself, or even if the people around you can actually notice it and kind of speak to you about it, it's always a great thing to try and catch it when you're younger, like most things, I'm sure, and then try to be able to try and find a fix from that point. So for the point where people are trying to instill it into schools, getting teachers to be like, hey, I kind of noticed that you're not the most talkative, or you don't like to talk, or you're very quiet and you don't want to engage, or whatever it may be, to the point where we can help our younger generation when they are going through it, feel it, and then try to get help from that kind of point. So is there any other ways that you feel like you cope with social anxiety, other than humor, I would say?
Not really. Just I think humor is the only way for me. I only do like, I consider myself pretty sarcastic with people, only because humor is the only way to really make things less awkward. I hate being in awkward situations. Oh Jesus, do I hate being in awkward situations? I think
that was fucking awkward.
Dude, I hate it with a passion. So like I would joke around it instantly to get out that situation. Like I'm even like when I'm in team meetings and they ask, does anyone have any questions? And when it's quiet for like fucking like 2 minutes, I instantly like, so yeah. I need to get out of there. That like I can't have that happen. So that's a huge thing for me. I remember when I was a kid. Shit. This is should I even say this story, or should I say this for a later episode?
Whatever you feel.
You know what? I'll fucking say it now. So I don't even know if this relates to what we're talking about, but who knows? So when I was a kid, I was pretty social. I talked to people a lot. Like even my my teachers would always complain that Carlos talks way too much. He's a smart kid, but like he talks way too much in class. And so there was this event at our school called the lip sync. So they would gather, like anyone can participate either by yourself or with a team to dance to a song, to create a dance number and like pretend like you're performing that song. No actual singers or shit, because like no one wants to be a show off. But I would participate, and I was like their fucking their main event. I was their fucking their anchor.
The
I was the
WrestleMania.
dude. I was the motherfucking. I was the it factor for them. So this was like the first one that we were going to, that I participated in rather, and everyone's excited. They're like, "Yo, we got Carlos! Like everything, it's gonna be great." And I remember one day we were in class and with our second grade teacher, and I was not a fan of this teacher whatsoever. I wasn't really doing great in grades wise in her class, and her daughter was in our class one day because I guess she had like a PA day that day, or is it PD day now? PD day, I guess, a day off rather. She had a day off from her school, so no one was watching her that day. So she came in that day to our class. I guess she was like helping out with like homework for everybody and shit. And she was a few years older than us, so she was just helping everyone. And I didn't talk to her at all that day. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm just like, I don't know this woman, so I'm just gonna continue talking to my friends. And then one day during lunch, this other teacher, Miss Barber, who was the runner of the lip sync, she just comes in randomly and she's like, "Carlos, get over here." I'm like, what the fuck? She calls me out in front of everybody, and everyone's looking at me at this point. And I'm like confused as shit. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And she's like, "Carlos, what are you doing? You participate in the lip sync, but I'm hearing that you're doing horrible in your grades." I'm like,
what?
Oh, okay. And I'm like, "Carlos, look, you can't be doing horrible. You have to do better in your grades. Do you think that I'm gonna let you participate in the lip sync if your grades are bad?" And I have no idea what to say to this at this point, because I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? I have no clue.
Barbara.
So I'm looking.
Oh, Barbara.
So I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking at everyone staring at me. And then I see my teacher's daughter staring right at me. She smiles with a big ass smile on her face. And she says, and she's nodding yes to say that I should say yes. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, yes. And she's like, "No, I'm not going to let you participate." And I'm like, oh.
Oh, she screwed you.
Yeah, she fucked me over, man. Fucking fuck you if you're listening to this.
I think that's definitely relevant. It sounds like
Yeah.
very traumatic.
Oh, I was just like, holy shit, what the hell is going on here? I have no clue. Like, I didn't even cry or anything. I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
And then ever since then, you've hated awkward situations.
Yeah, dude, that was awkward as shit.
It's fucking awkward.
That's awkward as shit. I was just like, what the hell? Like, who does this to a kid? So then, yeah, they kicked me out of the lip sync. I couldn't participate. I was bummed out about that because I let the team down. They participated. I even think they ended up in like the top three because they give out three. It's third, second, and first. So they end up in the top three. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's like, no, it's all good. But and I was just like, holy shit, what the hell was even that? So even like ever since that day, I'm just like, probably since that day, like I really not a fan of awkward situations.
It's like earlyhood, like traumatic.
Oh, for sure.
Really skew you, no matter how old you get. It eventually kind of takes part, and there's probably just I'm not a psychologist, but a little bit of that plays a huge role in exactly how maybe you experiencing awkward situations nowadays. The overthinking, the nervousness, the not knowing how to react in a certain situation like that. And it really plays a huge role. And I'm sorry to hear that. And fuck you, Miss Barbara.
Barber. She's an odd bird.
You are an odd bird.
Yeah.
I hope you fixed your issue because you're probably still teaching other kids. And we talked about early detection, and hopefully you can help kids not be awkward in situations go forward. But yeah, no, that's tough, man. Honestly,
it was like, I was like, what the fuck is even that? So I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm not on the team anymore. But then as I think about it, it made me really bummed out. I'm just like, okay, that was pretty embarrassing because like people were like making fun of me and shit. And I'm just like, oh shit. You have to bait out my scene in front of everybody. That's not cool. And grade 2 was like a rough year. Like I hated grade 2 with a passion because the teacher was like, she was rude as fuck, and like the teachings were never great. Like getting picked on and shit. It was just, oh fuck, dude. I was not a fan. But I will say that the light at the end of the tunnel, the light of the end of the tunnel, that the next year that I did participate, we actually ended up winning the lip sync to end this on a higher note for all of you. So that being said, the moral of the story is, if if you're ever in an awkward situation and people are giving you suggestions, don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Don't ever listen to the teacher's daughter whenever she's offering you suggestions during this whole awkward ass fucking situation. And if you're listening, fucking whatever, I'm not even gonna say your name because I don't remember it, to be perfectly honest. If you're listening, I hope you joined Al Qaeda. You fucking bitch. I hope you're at the fucking thing Saturday. I hope you're at the fucking thing Saturday. I hope you get tear gas too. You bitch. Fucking Jesus. I was just a kid. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry for laughing, but
you would make a great therapist. What do you mean you pissed your pants in front of? Oh shit! Yeah, go ahead.
One of the last things I did want to kind of bring up before we did happen to kind of get closer to the end of the episode was how socially acceptable it is to now kind of talk about what you're going through, and like we talked about like Bell Let's Talk and how like mental illness is a huge thing. And if you are going through it, then like talk about it and expose it to the world and really try to get help and do what you need to do to be able to kind of get it to be recognized. And the fix can always come after, but at least like self-recognition, at least talking about it from a general sense, is definitely becoming more and more accepted in general day. One of the biggest examples that I did want to bring up was Naomi Osaka.
Yes.
One of the biggest female tennis stars in the fucking world, if not the biggest one at this point.
I'd say so.
Well, maybe not. I don't know about over Venus and Serena.
Well, I mean, like they had their
Serena,
time, but I think in terms of like in their prime, I think like Naomi's probably
like right now. Yeah. She's a wonderful tennis star, fucking all-star pro. But she actually recently came out and said that she struggles with social anxiety. I was reading this one interview about her where she came out with saying how she doesn't like. When she's playing tennis, it's almost like taking out of her zone, where it's like, tennis, you're on one of the biggest stages in the world. You're not really having to worry about what the crowd thinks or anybody thinks of you. You're really just trying to play tennis and come up with the end goal to win. But she was like, if you ever put me and then try to take an acceptance speech in front of the same amount of people on a tennis court, not playing tennis, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to sit in front of a whole bunch of people. I don't want to be interviewed by a bunch of reporters. I don't want to do that shit. That shit fucking freaks me out. And she came out and said that shit publicly. And that's the cool part about nowadays it's being more socially accepted. Like a lot more people that we can look up to, and then we put on a pedestal. Now we can realize that we that share something with them. They're vulnerable as well. Yeah. They go through the same exact struggles that we happen to go through. And they learn from it. And even if they haven't learned from it, that's something that they still struggle with to this day. So for us to be able to kind of think that it only happens to us, I hope that you find some ease knowing that everyone kind of goes through and we kind of go through it together.
She actually dropped out of a tournament because of one of the...
So in this case, it's kind of like, I'm not saying that it takes away from your situation or whatever it may be, but it is important that some of the people that we put on the highest pedestal in the world happen to kind of go through the exact same experiences, or maybe not the exact same, but somewhat of similar experiences that we happen to go through, and that hopefully helps you in a certain way to know that you're not alone. I think is what my kind of end basis was in that kind of case. So social anxiety, man, like it's a tough one.
It doesn't make you less of a, it doesn't make you a coward to admit your faults or to admit that something you're going through it. So man. Oh, just take it back a grade 2. Oh my god. You know what song we were gonna dance to that year? Everybody by Backstreet Boys.
Oh, it's a huge tune.
Great tune. We had a great number and
tune.
And I couldn't do it. I
don't know if like stage fright has anything to do with like social anxiety, or
no. For me, no.
No.
You know what? I don't know what it is. Like even from the lip sync and like because that's not my only stage situation. I know in high school, I fucking, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I admitted this. There were, in high school, there was a tryout for a dance team, and everybody, there was a fucking, what is this? What is that? Jesus. There were tryouts, and everyone was at the door auditioning for tryouts, looking through a window, watching that one person in the room with the two teachers. I'm like, okay, this is fucking humiliating. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And the door opens, and Ben, shout out to Ben if you're listening, pushes me through the door, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what are you? And they close it, and they wouldn't open it back, open the goddamn door. And I'm like, fuck, all right. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm Carlos. And I auditioned, and I did my dance and shit. And everyone, as soon as they opened the door for me, everyone's cheering and shit. I'm like, okay, chill. Nothing serious is gonna happen from this. And I look at the list, I make the team, and I'm like, oh, great. And I look at the list again. I'm the only dude on that fucking team. And I'm like, fuck, this is humiliating as shit. I'm the only dude on the team.
Man, where was I?
I don't fucking know.
You should have joined the dance team.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't. You definitely wouldn't have.
Oh, no, not.
Oh, 100% not. So I'm just like, dude, you can't even imagine. Because in the room that we were practicing, it was a big ass window to outside. I can't even tell you how many countless days where we auditioned for our big dance number on this stage. And people were walking by, dudes were walking by, just like laughing. I'm like, fuck. I can't believe I'm doing this. But you know what? I gave them my word that I'd do it. I was going to drop out multiple times. I had talked
we went to come see like a bunch of shows that you guys did and a bunch of different performances.
I'm like, fuck. I remember I was telling Miss Farrar, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I could do this. But she's like, yeah, it's okay. Like, just please go through with it. That one performance we're gonna do, it's not gonna be in front of everybody in the school. It's gonna be at night in front of like parents and some of the students. I'm like, okay, fine. So we did that one number. It was me and like a bunch of other girls on the stage just dancing. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's just go through with it. Not nervous at all on the stage. I don't know what it is. Like, I'll be nervous maybe like right before it happens, but I wouldn't be like where I wouldn't want to perform. Like it's just jitters that I have. But as soon as I get on stage, I'm very comfortable on there because I have faith in my dancing. There's faith. When you're confident in something, you just gotta believe, baby. And then we finished the dance number. It was a huge success. I have never gotten so many hugs from females in my life. Jesus. Pre-COVID, obviously. Pre-COVID. This was high school. All I'm saying is, if you're the only dude on that dance team and you're straight and you're, and there's all these females and you have the opportunity to be that one dude, do it! Do it! Join the fucking dance team. When you got the ability to move it, you got to prove it and then do it. Oh, yeah. But yeah, in terms of like nervousness and jitters, yeah, on the stage, no, not once. Even when I was a kid, like even when I did it on the lip sync, I was never. I think that's the one time where most people would be nervous as fuck on stage, and me, no, I loved it. I love the attention.
I got one quick stage fright story.
I
don't know if it like falls into social anxiety in any kind of point, but stage fright in itself, it was always one of those things that I always kind of felt a little bit it gave me a nervousness about like performing in certain like stages and like doing even like speeches back in grade school. I did them and did extremely well in some of them, I'll be honest with you somehow. I don't know if my teachers just like me because I'm pretty sure I don't remember any of my speeches whatsoever, but I remember back in like kindergarten, and I know it really doesn't matter because back in kindergarten, but I remember this one image of kindergarten where we had one of those assemblies where every grade happens to do something else, like a performance or whatever it was. So the kindergartens that year had to do the teddy bear picnic like dance. And do you know what the teddy bear picnic is?
What the fuck would I know what a teddy bear picnic is?
So what's that song? It's like the teddy bears have their picnic. It's like a folk song. It's like something about
To all the
going in
children
woods
growing up in
today.
Newmarket, I am so sorry you had to go through the torment of performing that weird ass song.
We're gonna post it on Instagram, or at least post something about the
Dude, I don't think you went to.
Instagram.
You were in a cult.
No, man.
You 100%.
Teddy bear picnic.
Teddy bear picnic.
If anybody remembers the teddy bear picnic, please let us know. But
dude, anybody that remembers the teddy bear picnic is either in a fucking psychiatric home or in prison.
It's a folk song that we had to perform in front of the whole school. I was the only kid who didn't do it. Well, I got up there with my little teddy bear mask on.
Yeah.
And I like almost got on stage, and I go to my teacher. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this. And she's like, Ryan, like everybody in kindergarten is doing it. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. The white dragon's on there with the rest of the clan waiting to sacrifice. What are you doing?
And she's like, Ryan, like you have to. Like everyone else is doing it. And I'm pretty sure even some of my boys from kindergarten that I still talk to this day were doing it. Yeah, I didn't do it.
Wow.
And my teacher was kind of like, okay, fine, don't worry about it. Sit on the side of the thing and we won't make you do it. So I literally watched all my friends and all my classmates do the teddy bear picnic dance in front of the whole school. And I was the only one who did it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I shed a tear or not because I cried my way out of it.
Aww.
But that was probably one of the major or most memories that I have with social anxiety.
Holy shit.
Anxiety in itself. And
you actually dropped out.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Kindergarten, man. I fully remember that. 25 years later? Because you're 4 years old when you're in kindergarten, 4 or 5 or something like that. So 25 years ago, I still remember that story. And the thing about it is that every single time that I always have an awkward situation about stage fright, I always think about that situation, whether it happens to be engaging in a new group of friends, meeting somebody new, whatever it may be, going in front of a boardroom of a whole bunch of people that you don't know, presenting in front of your president, meeting somebody new, whatever it may be, first dates, anything like that. I think about that situation, and I'm kind of like, man, I am now better than that. Than that fucking kindergarten kid kind of thing, you know? So
damn.
It helped me in that case. And that's how I kind of cope with, nervousness around new social situations. I'm not going to lie. I still definitely get it here and there maybe, but
it happens, yeah.
Not as much as I used to, definitely as a kid. And that's one of the ways that I kind of cope with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The social anxiety, man. It's definitely something real. Everybody happens. I'm sure probably everybody goes through it at least a little bit.
So let's say this show makes it big, and we do a live show. Would you drop out?
God, no, I would love to do a live show.
Really?
Are you kidding me? I would love to do a live show.
Just like a heckler just calls you out name. Hey, fucking kindergarten dropout. How you doing there? It's like, mind your fucking business.
See, that's when we're going to have like all the crazy setup stuff. And I'm going to have one button that none of us touches. And we're not going to know what that button touches, but I'm going to know. As soon as I press it, the Teddy Bear Picnic theme song is going to fucking come on.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm going to get up and do the
little dance.
Teddy Bears have their picnic.
And then the fucking my teacher's daughter and from Al Qaeda comes in and just blows the place up. I guess we're good for that topic.
The last thing I do want to say is that if you do happen to, be affected by social anxiety.
Look directly in the camera when you're doing this.
If you do happen to be affected by social anxiety and you know that you do, if you are open to it, please seek help. There's definitely assistance programs throughout all of the city in itself. Probably harder to find because of COVID or whatever it may be, but I'm sure that there are groups out there.
I know there's tons of online services.
Services,
FaceTime
groups,
and shit.
There's probably Discord servers out there, like Reddit posts, like all that kind of stuff. If you reach out for it, I'm sure that you can find it. There is some sort of help in some sort of way. And even if you don't progress that much in one of these groups or programs, at least it's some sort of a progression to be able to kind of get away from that and become the social being that, we all kind of are at the end of the day. So in this case, really seek help if you do need it. Not only in relation to social anxiety, but any sort of help, good to get back to our mental health episode and Bell Talks and stuff like that. But that's one thing I wanted to kind of get across, and that's my kind of closing point with social anxiety, I would say.
Okay. All right, man. Well, yeah, that was our topic on social anxiety. But we want to get into a new segment, which will lead into our recommendations. We're going to have this segment from time to time when I feel like, because, well, the reason why I wanted to start this segment was because I've noticed that when celebrities are passing away, all this good stuff happens about them before they pass. All these good things are said about, like with Bob Saget passing away, host of America's Funniest Home Videos, obviously Full House. All these good things are said about him after he passed, and not a lot of stuff or appreciation before. So I want to, and I got a bit of the idea from Drink Champs. So shout out to Drink Champs podcast. You should check them out if you guys don't know who they are. It's Nori and DJ Effin. They're a good podcast, so check them out. We're gonna appreciate either people, situations, from time to time. So my appreciation post today is about singer, songwriter, musician, Phil Collins.
Wow,
dude. This week I listened to so much fucking Phil Collins.
Wow,
he's the fucking truth.
Phil Collins is the man.
He is the fucking truth.
No, that was unexpected for me. And by the way, we didn't prep this.
No, not at all. This is free falling.
This is all kind of free fall. So yeah, dude, that's wild, man.
Bro, he is incredible. Like I listened to it before. Like I listened to some song, but I listened to like albums this week. My God, he's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
You're gonna have to show me some stuff. Or we're gonna have to post some stuff on our Instagram. So.
Phil Collins, fucking. Dude, he has so many bangers, bro. So many. I was listening to Two Hearts on my way. Two Hearts, banger. You Can't Hurry Love, which is a cover of another artist from Diana Ross and her band. Great song. Another Day in Paradise. And what's the song from Tarzan? You'll Be in My Heart.
Oh yeah,
banger.
That's a banger.
Banger. Holy shit! Let me tell you a little something about Phil Collins. He initially started in a band called Genesis. He was the drummer for that band.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, and Genesis went on to be. They are a very successful band to this day. They are actually going on tour this year.
With him?
Yeah, with him.
Oh shit, that's huge.
So that's the thing. So he was a drummer for that band, and then the lead singer Peter Gabriel decided to go solo, and they were without a singer, and then they were overhearing Phil Collins sing.
Up and he's like,
"I'm in," and I'm like, "Sit your drumming ass down, motherfucker." He ain't gonna do it. And then they overheard him singing one day and were like, Phil, get this man a microphone. We're on in 20. And he went on to sing songs, created bangers for Genesis. And then he decided to go solo.
That's huge.
And he created bangers. Did you know, aside from Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, he is one of the three of those men to come from a band to be successful for both the band and a single artist to sell 100 million records worldwide.
Wow, that's huge.
Huge. He's one of the most successful musicians in history. What else is interesting about him? He has 38 top 40 singles that spans 3 decades.
Holy shit.
And the list of 100 greatest drummers by Rolling Stone, he was listed as number 45, I think.
Wow.
So aside from being a successful as drummer, I'm actually behind Ringo Starr. He's second place on the most successful drummer money wise of all time.
Wow. That's wild.
Insane. So Phil fucking Collins, this one's for you, man. Good for you, sir. You're the man, and I love you, dude. Yeah, man. I heard a weird story. It's a rumor apparently, but I don't know if it's true. The song "Feel It in the Air Tonight." Oh, yeah. He actually plays the drums in that song too. So that iconic moment, it was actually him that played the drums in that song.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's right. So the story behind that song?
Something about somebody drowning?
So no. So the situation was that he witnessed somebody. So he witnessed 2 people where one person was drowning and the guy did not save that person. He just let that person drown.
Wow.
And Phil was too far away to save that person. And then he performed at a concert and he noticed that person was there that night. And then he pointed the light at that person, and he sang the song to "In the Air Tonight" to that person. And what was interesting was the person was actually singing along with the words as they were going.
Wow, that's fucked
I
up.
can feel it calling in the air tonight. But that's a rumor. Apparently, he says it's not true. But I think that.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, right. Come on. That'd be a wild ass.
That'd
Be a wild ass story. I can feel it coming in the air too. That was basically murder. The dude just said there, just like in the audience, just like, wow. Oh, what a good song. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Oh fuck. But yeah, man. Phil
is
fucking
he talking about the same Charlie Smith?
Charlie Smith. That's my name. Hold on, what the fuck? But yeah, man. Phil Collins, dude.
Yeah.
A god amongst men.
One of those underrated artists and a lot of people think
about. Dude. Please listen to Phil Collins. Please.
I think when I first heard about Phil Collins, other than like the Disney stuff, like the Tarzan stuff, was Bone Thugs.
They sampled "Take Me Home."
Take Me Home, and then he actually did the video.
He did the video with them.
So and I was a big Bone Thugs fan growing up. Like I used to love fucking East 1999.
You used to look like him. Boom, 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 boom.
To this day, I still listen to First of the Month every first of the month.
What you gonna do? Make someone
So I'm a big Bone Thugs fan. I always have been. And I remember when they collabed with Phil Collins on the "Take Me Home." Yeah, that was dope.
That was. I'm telling you,
shout out
man.
to Phil Collins.
He's with it. He's with it. Telling y'all, man. You know what? Just listen to all his music, dude. He's like, even from his Genesis days. You know what? I recommend "Hold On My Heart" by Genesis, where Phil Collins is the lead singer in that song. Great song. Hold on my heart. Great song. But yeah, that's my recommendation. And that's my appreciation. Well, we'll have a different name for the appreciation segment. We'll figure something out because it's baby steps, baby. We're almost there. We have to have more puzzles because we have the Hangman reference.
We'll get more.
We'll figure it out. Join us along with the journey. All right. Do you have anything to say or any recommendation?
I think what I'll do is I'll do an appreciation as well. Carl's kind of put me on the spot with this one because I didn't think of it before.
You don't have to have one.
As of recent, for those who don't know, it was actually the 2-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's, death anniversary. I believe it was this week. For those who don't know, I was a huge I'm still a Kobe fan.
Yesterday?
Tuesday or something like that. One of the days. But it's been 2 years since Kobe Bryant passed. I'm a huge Kobe fan. I know a lot of my friends know me as a huge Kobe fan. I 100% admit I love the guy. Loved everything about him, everything he did. I don't even like the Lakers, but I like Kobe. And in this case, it really hit home, when he actually passed away. I think that actually has to be the first celebrity that I actually ever cried. Like MJ passed away, which was huge, but I don't really I felt it, but I was kind of like, wow, that's fucked up. But Kobe, as soon as he passed away, watching him do the things that he did, being the athlete that he was, being the role model he was to the world, putting that much of an impact on the world itself. Definitely my appreciation for Kobe Bryant. Everyone probably thought I was going to be Lupe the first episode, which will be the next episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But in this case, it has to go to Kobe Bryant. Definitely.
Yeah, dude, I remember that day vividly. I was just reading a group chat and somebody posted the article on TMZ. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was playing a video game at the time too, and I couldn't even play the game. I was shaking. I'm like, what the shit is going on? And it's weird because I was a Kobe fan, but I wasn't I wasn't a big supporter of the Lakers or anything. But I clearly knew he had an impact, not just on basketball alone, but the sports world. Everybody was impacted by Kobe. So I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? What the shit is going on here? I'm looking at the news. I'm trying to confirm. And I read CNN and it says he died. And I'm like, holy shit. And then he says his daughter died with. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I remember calling my dad, and me and my dad would always debate. I would always tell him like Kobe is number 2 behind Michael Jordan 100%. And my dad, he hated Kobe because he never passed. He never passed the ball during the game. And when I called my dad, he was shocked. He was literally like, Carlos, are you serious? Like, I've never heard him sound so like that's crazy. And like, because like you mentioned, like I too cried when he like when I was watching the reactions of when Doc Rivers was crying, I it got me. I'm like, fuck, he's actually gone. Like, Jesus Christ. Because it was him and Michael Jackson where I generally cried from the reactions of their passing. Because that was just it's just the fact that it was so sudden and so random. Because he regardless, I know he ended his basketball career, but like he had so much
more to do.
Yeah,
he was just a person, a great person for the world.
A god.
Definitely had his dark fucking era.
Sure.
For his early years.
Sure.
And for those who know what I'm talking about, I'm not gonna even say it.
Yeah,
because I don't want to do any injustice to who he is. But Kobe Bryant was a god in itself. So rest in peace to Kobe.
Yeah, man.
And then
his legacy in the game will never be matched. There'll only be one Kobe Bryant.
And then for my recommendation, it is a song that I've been listening to on repeat for some reason today.
By Kobe Bryant?
No, it is not. I know he did come up with a couple raps. He came up with a couple raps. I think.
Not good.
No.
Mm.
He actually married one of his Vanessa
was one of his dance video girls. Yeah. You know who wrote one of his rap singles?
No.
50 Cent.
Oh, really?
Mm.
What the hell?
Yeah, by young 50 Cent before in the club.
That's
and all that
funny,
shit.
Man.
But no, he should have stuck to rap.
or
basketball rather. Yeah, don't stick to rap.
The one song I have that I've been playing on repeat today for some odd reason, Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. Definitely go look that song up. Big R&B hit. If you can sing it with me. Can we talk?
Sing it. Sing the chorus.
Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want. But
no. Finish the goddamn chorus. Why would you do that?
Huge song. Go listen to it. That's my recommendation for you.
What? You're not gonna finish the chorus?
No, it doesn't need to be.
Are you trying to piss me off?
I'm not trying to ruin it.
What the fuck are you talking? You have to finish the chorus. Finish the chorus. Girl, I want
to know your name.
Thank you. That was so irritating. Huh? Can you imagine leaving these people hanging like that? All right. Well then. Thank you for joining us this week on another special edition of The Blank with Carlos and Ryan. I am clearly Carlos.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is The Blank with Carlos and Ryan.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.